I think first, I think it's really important to just start with thoughts and prayers to the Chapel Hill community, in that situation. Obviously, there's not a lot of details out there right now, but certainly praying that everybody over there is safe and sound, and that ends in a positive way as best it can. And so that's obviously a lot bigger than anything else we're going to talk about here today. So I wanted to start there. I think from a football standpoint, obviously it's an exciting time. I think when you do this opening press conference, it's here. The season's here, and we're certainly at that point where our guys are tired of hitting each other, and certainly looking forward to going out there and hitting somebody else. I think we've had a really good training camp. We've had a really good summer. I think our team is ready to go out there and perform. So we're excited for the opportunity to go out next Monday night and finally get to put it on the line against somebody else and kind of showcase what this team is. Obviously, Clemson coming in, unbelievable respect for this program. I've said this all offseason, and it's the truth. They're the gold standard of ACC football. I think it's 7 of the last 8 ACC championship games they played in. They've been in 5 straight playoffs. They've won 2 national championships. They've accomplished as much as any ACC program has since this ACC has come together in this manner. And so to get them in the opener, I think, is an opportunity for our program, but it's also, a huge challenge, and so they're going to come in here offensively with 2 extremely talented running backs that are extremely high level. Will Shipley's been around doing it for years, it feels like. Can do it in a lot of different ways. Can hurt you running it, can hurt you catching it, can hurt you in the return game. I think they've got a really good offensive line. I've known Cade Klubnik for a long time, all the way back to my years in Texas, and so I feel like he's been winning football games and playing quarterback at a really high level for a really long time, even though it hasn't been as much at Clemson yet. This is his first full-time year as a starter, but certainly, have a lot of respect for his talent level and where he's at. And then, defensively, the length and athleticism just jumps off of the tape. I think it starts through the middle. They're really, really good through the middle. Their 2 defensive tackles, their 2 linebackers are really, really active and effective football players for them. They're involved in a lot. They create a lot of havoc. The 2 defensive ends have been there. Those are 2 kids I remember recruiting a long time ago, Justin and Xavier. And so those kids have been at Clemson for a long time, which is never a good recipe for a Clemson player to be there for a long time, because they're going to develop and grow in that program. And so they're big, they're strong, they're long. And then the secondary, it brings back a lot of guys, and it brings back a lot of guys with a lot of experience. And so that group is going to be really talented as well. And so it's going to be a huge challenge for us, but we'll be up for it, and we'll go out, we'll play our best football next Monday and kind of see where it goes. And so with that, I'll open it up to questions. But probably more finalizing things. I think obviously that's what you want is a sharp scrimmage without a lot of penalties, with a really good operation, and we had that. I felt like we operated well. I feel like we communicated well. Those were kind of the things that we were looking for. And then, I think we're finalizing snap counts. I think that's the biggest thing, is who has earned the right to play, how many plays, and I think we're in a position this year where we have a little bit more depth and we have a little bit more competition. And so I don't think those competitions end with one guy playing 80 plays and one guy playing 0. You're just trying to figure out, like, how are you splitting the game and how are you rotating guys in and to what percentage are they playing. And so I think those were probably some of the decisions that kind of got finalized the other day.
That's probably the most hyped regular season opener in Duke football history, at least since Wallace Wade started. How do you win or lose? How do you keep this one game from being more than one game? How do you keep it defining the season?
Yeah, we don't acknowledge it in the way that you're speaking ever. I think that's a starting point. I respect it. I certainly know what the question's about. I know what it is, but we certainly don't talk like that. This for us is one opportunity out of 12, and we know that. And no matter what happens next Monday night, there's going to be 11 more on the schedule. They're certainly not going to cancel the schedule one way or the other, no matter how this game turns out. And so, we know for us to be successful, we've got to play our best version of football. That's what Duke is focused on. We're focused on ourselves. We're focused on how to go out and execute at a really high level next Monday night. And that's what we know we're going to need to do.
Going into the season, have you identified 2 or 3 keys to having a successful season?
It always starts with staying healthy. That's, I think, a starting point. We are deeper, but there are certainly guys on this team that need to stay healthy and need to be successful for us. I think we've got to be able to play the game physically the same way we did last year against what is going to be an enhanced schedule. You know, we talked a lot about that this offseason. You know, we've got to be able to run the ball. We've got to be able to stop the run, and that will be a bigger challenge at times this year than it was last year, and we know that. And I think we're ready for that challenge. And I think we've got to do a really good job playing situational football. I think if you look at some of the close games we played last year, or you look at some of the more marquee matchups that we played last year, they came down to 2-minute execution. They came down to 4-minute execution. They came down to 2-point plays at the end of the game. And our ability to execute those types of situations a little bit better than we did at times last year in those games, I think will be critical.
Mike, is there a benefit of if Clemson is going to be on your schedule to get them in the first game of the year when you're theoretically at your healthiest?
And I think the benefit is them not being on our schedule, to be honest with you. No, I mean, listen, you know, the thing that's true in openers is this: they're lost sometimes a lot more than they're won, and that's kind of regardless of talent level. You know, you never know what you're going to get in an opener from your opponent, from yourselves. You know, those are always unpredictable things, right? And so you do everything that you think you need to do to get yourselves ready, and then you just try to go out there and play clean football, right? If we can limit penalties, if we can limit operational issues, if we can limit turnovers, if we can protect the football, if we can do those things and not make some of those first game mistakes, then in an opener you feel like you've given yourself a chance no matter who you're playing. And so, you know, to that extent, maybe there's a benefit to doing it in the opener because you can focus a little bit more on yourselves and making sure you're ready to play clean football coming right out of the locker room opening night. But yeah, that's probably it.
You talk